Hi, I'm Allison, your virtual dietitian with over 27 years experience. I'm also a certified culinary medicine specialist, and that means I did advanced training on the food as medicine approach because I really believe that we can change our fate by what we put on our plate. Today, I'm bringing to you a zesty chickpea salad. This is one of my favorite quick and easy meals. It's going to help sustain your energy, and I'm going to show you how to repurpose those leftovers because we all know we don't really like eating leftovers over and over and over again, and we don't have much time to prep. So let me show you my mise en place. That is a fancy term for everything in its place. And as you can see, I've got all my great ingredients here. And I highly recommend that you practice mise en place when you're cooking because that way you know you have some of the vital ingredients. And if you don't have them on hand, you can look for other swaps in your own pantry because a lot of recipes are act like templates, and you can use the recipe that I'm going to share with you today as a template as well. So what we are going to be doing, I'm going to use chickpeas as my base. And what I've done is taken some low sodium chickpeas and strained them in my fine mesh strainer. That is going to help reduce the sodium by about 40%. And I'm going to mash up my chickpeas so that it's not going to be like a hummus or anything, but I'm just going to have a nice texture so that I can build my salad. I'm choosing chickpeas because they're mild in flavor, and I love that they have not only protein, but they also have fiber. Fiber is what's going to help us feel full and satisfied, and all plants, plant-based proteins have fiber in it. So that's a huge win. Our animal proteins don't have fiber. So a can of chickpeas has about 12 grams of fiber. And if you are a female, you need about 21 to 25 grams of fiber a day based on your age. And men, you need 30 to 38 grams of fiber per day. And when you're putting it into perspective, one apple is about 3 grams. So you want to look at your plate and be like, where can I add in more fiber? And usually that's coming from plants. So this is going to be a very plant-forward dish for you, and I'm really excited to share. So I'm mashing up my chickpeas here. And next, what we're going to do is add in our onion. So if you don't like red onion, you feel free to use green onion. Green onion's a little bit less strong. So green onion would go great in here. I'm also going to use my zester and zest my lemon. You want to just get the outer part of the lemon. It's going to add a layer of flavor that really makes it pop. You don't want the white part because that is bitter. So before I cut my lemon, I'm just going to zest it. Now make sure you wash your lemon because the kids are touching things in the grocery store and you don't know what their fingers have been on, right? So zest your lemon into your bowl. And now I'm ready to squeeze it. So take your lemon and you're going to roll it. And this is going to help release some more of the juices. And I'm going to cut my lemon in half. I like to use a citrus reamer so it collects all those seeds. You can just squeeze it with your hands if you like, but since I've got this on hand, I'm going to use it. And if you're going to use a citrus reamer, you want to make sure the cut side is down when you are squeezing your dish. All right, and now I'm going to be adding in some cilantro. I like to keep my cilantro packed in a jar with water, and that way it stays fresh longer. And we want to get the leaves in the cilantro, and I've got these really cool scissors that have 4 blades on it. I like to be efficient in the kitchen and save time, and this is a go-to for me when I'm doing cutting up some herbs. So I'm just going to chop up those leaves in there. And if you think cilantro tastes like soap, swap it out for parsley. Or you could use dill, or you could use basil, whatever you want. So again, this is kind of like a template. Now, if you didn't like cannellini or chickpeas, you could use cannellini beans, you could use black beans in here. It's really up to you. And then next we have our emulsifier. So typically when you're making like a hummus, you would use oil to emulsify it. And we're making this chickpea salad, and I don't really want all the extra fat in my olive oil to be added to this dish. So what I'm going to use instead is a little bit of my Dijon mustard. I'm going to measure with my heart here. And then I'm going to add in some cumin. Cumin will help aid in digestion and decrease inflammation. Gotta make sure I show you how to peel that garlic over there and get that added in. So this is a bulb of garlic. This is a clove of garlic. So I teach local classes in my teaching kitchen, and I had the secretary order me some garlic. I said I needed 16 cloves for the class, and she brought me 16 bulbs. I'm like, dude, do we have a vampire problem here? So needless to say, everybody went home with their garlic on hand. So it was eye-opening to me because not everybody knows culinary terminology. So I like to point that out when I'm doing my cooking classes so people are aware of the differences there. All right, so I've got my clove of garlic, and it's really easy to peel. What you're going to do is just trim off each side. And when you're holding a knife, you want to pinch the blade and wrap your fingers around it. You don't want to go like this because you're less stable. So now I'm going to just smash my garlic, and that helps the paper come off a lot easier. And I'm going to toss this. And I don't like cleaning the kitchen. It's so annoying to me. And the garlic mincers that you squeeze, it always leaves some pieces of the garlic in there. So I like to use this method of mincing my garlic. You just rock it back and forth. How cool is that? And I'm using all the pieces of my garlic. So that's going to go into my bowl here. All right. I love the flavor of garlic. And I like a little creaminess when it comes to my chickpea salad. So what I'm going to add is some plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Measure with my heart. There we go. And I'm going to add a little pepper. I use low sodium chickpeas. I did rinse them to get the excess salt on it. It reduces the sodium content by 40%. Now, it's not really something you need to be overly concerned about unless you have a heart condition, but everybody should reduce their salt intake because we are eating so much salt in our diet because of processed foods and eating out. So I try to do low sodium whenever possible. And then I can always add that sodium back in if I really need it for flavor. Okay, now I like this consistency for my chickpea salad. And you can see right there, what else would you add to that? I'm thinking if I had some tomatoes, I might add some tomatoes to this. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, so for the men in your life, that's really important because it helps reduce prostate cancer. So I can also add some shredded carrots. I kind of can just look around and see what I have on hand. I've got some peppers over there, maybe dice those up and throw it in. Got some cabbage. I could throw this salad on top of some cabbage slaw. I always encourage people to taste as they're cooking to see if they need to add any ingredients. This is really good. So what I'm going to do with this for the first meal, I'm going to have it on top of my salad. So I'm going to put some of this right here on my salad, and voila. Now tomorrow, I might take a high fiber wrap and put this on top of the wrap and wrap it all up. That would be a second way that you can eat it. But now I'm going to show you a totally different way to transform these leftovers. So I'm going to put in some of my chickpea salad into my food processor, this little cute food processor here. And I'm going to put in a little bit of lemon juice that I have already squeezed right here. And I like this tahini. It's squeezy tahini. And tahini is rich in calcium and magnesium. It supports bone health and muscle function. So I'm going to add in a little bit of that. Do you know what tahini is made out of? It's made out of sesame seeds. All right, so now I'm going to whip this up. And let's check it out. So I might want it chunky. I could leave it like that. Or I may want to thin it out a little bit. And okie doke. So I think this consistency looks great. And what I'm going to do is take my little bento box and make a little adult snackable box. So putting my hummus in here. And now I have a perfect snack for a busy work day that I can take into the office. So there it is remade into a hummus tray. And I can even add a little bit more water to this leftover hummus and thin it out even more. And then that turns into a beautiful salad dressing. So you can repurpose this dish in many different ways. I know that many people do not have time to spend in the kitchen. So I hope this helps you become more efficient and get some new ideas on what you could do when you just don't feel like cooking. And if you want help making meals feel easy, I'd love to work with you one-on-one. Or if you would like me to come into your workplace, either virtually or in person, and do some cooking demos to really help you find some meals and snacks that are going to help you have better productivity, energy, and enthusiasm for cooking again, I'd love to chat with you. Thanks for joining us.